Hey everybody, I'm here to talk to you about multiplying a decimal by powers of 10. Now I've tried to shoot this video like 5 times and I keep talking a lot. And my videos are like 10 minutes long and that's ridiculous. Who has 10 minutes just to sit down and watch a teacher talk about math in her basement? So I'm going to try to do this quick and simple. So focus, give me your attention, and be ready to be blown away with these powers of 10. The first thing you need to know is that a power of 10 looks something like this. This 10 is called your base number. The exponent tells you how many times you multiply the base number by itself. That means the only number in the equation is your base number. This is going to be 10 times 10 times 10. And I know those look like pluses because I'm having a hard time writing sideways. 10 times 10 times 10. The only number I see down there is my base number. How many times do I see it? 3. That matches my exponent. So the value of this number is 1,000. Again, super quick. 10 to the 4th power. My base number is 10. That's the only number I see in my equation. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. I see my base number 4 times. All right, so base number, exponent, moving on. Now you need to understand decimals, okay? If I have the number 12 and 5/10, I know that I have 12 whole something, whatever I'm dealing with, right? That's my whole number, okay? And 5 is a partial number. It's less than 1. Decimals and fractions are less than 1, all right? So when I look at this, I know the value of my 2 is actually 2. The value of my 1 is actually 10, okay? And the value of this 5 is less than 1. It's actually 5/10, which is like 5 dimes, okay? So it's like 50 cents, all right? So when I look at this and I multiply it by a power of 10, okay, this tells me I'm going to move the value of these digits on my place value chart. So this exponent is how many times I'm multiplying by 10. I'm only multiplying by 10 one time. So I'm going to move this decimal to the right 1 time. Exponent's 1, move to the right once. I call this a swoopy, okay? Just because it's fun to swoop it, right? Swoopy, right? So now my new number is 125. Now I placed that decimal there to prove that I moved my decimal. But at the end of a number, if you're not holding place value for any cents or any tenths, hundredths, thousandths afterwards, you don't have to have the decimal there, but I will just today for fun, okay? So now I'm noticing that if I multiply 12 and 5/10 times 10 to the 1st power, I get 125. Okay, I'm going to double check this by looking at one of my digits. My 2 used to be worth 2. Well, if I multiply by a 10, that actually creates a 20. Well, by golly, look, my 2 is actually in the tens place now, which makes it worth 20. Fancy, huh? All right, let's do this again. Let's do something different. Let's do 4 and 35 hundredths. Okay, and I'm going to multiply this by 10 to the 2nd power. Remember, my exponent tells me how many tens I'm going to multiply by. That's 2 tens, okay, which is actually 100. Okay, how many times am I going to move on the place value chart? Twice. I'm going to move my decimal to the right 2 times because I'm making a larger number. So guess what? Exponent of 2, 2 swoopies. My new number is 435. Okay, now I'm going to check. My 4 before was in the ones place. It was worth 4. Well, guess what? If I multiply it by 110, okay, now it's going to be 40. If I multiply it by another 10, now it's going to be 400. And look, now it's worth 400. So you can check your digits afterwards by multiplying them independently by your power of 10 to double check to make sure that you did that correct. We should always double check our answers to make sure that we're doing this correctly. All right, so powers of 10, multiplying by decimals is pretty fun and exciting. You just have to understand powers of 10. You have to understand that an exponent tells you how many times to multiply the base number by itself. Remember, 10 to the 6th power, the only number I should see in that equation is the number 10. And I should see it written 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So guess what? If I have an exponent of 6, I'm going to move that decimal to the right 6 different times. Each time I multiply by 10, that moves a digit over on the place value chart to increase its value times 10. All right? So have fun. I hope this helped.